Whereas the founders of the Constitution of the United States empowered state legislators to be the guardians of liberty against future abuses of power by the federal government, and whereas the federal government has created a crushing national debt through improper, imprudent spending, and whereas the federal government has invaded the legitimate role of the states through the manipulative process of federal mandates, most of which are unfounded to a great extent, and whereas the federal government has ceased to live under a proper interpretation of the United States Constitution of the United States, and whereas it is the solemn duty of the states to protect the liberty of our people, particularly for the generations to come, and the proposed amendments to the Constitution of the United States through a convention of the states under Article 5 to place clear restraints on these and related abuses of powers. Therefore, it is resolved by the House of Representatives in the state of Arizona, the Senate concurring, that pursuant to Article 5 of the Constitution of the United States, the legislature of the state of Arizona formally applies to Congress of the United States to call a convention of states limited to proposing amendments to the Constitution of the United States that impose fiscal restraints on the federal government, limit the power of jurisdiction of the federal government, and limit the terms of office for federal officials and for members of Congress. That this application constitutes a continuing application in accordance with Article 5 of the Constitution of the United States until at least 2/3 of the legislature of several states have made application on the same subject. That means this has to be exact for all of them. That this application is revoked, withdrawn, nullified, and superseded, retroactive to the date of enactment. If the application is used for the purpose of calling a convention or is used in support of conducting a convention to amend Constitution of the United States for any purpose other than to impose physical restraints on the federal government, limit the power of jurisdiction of the federal government, or limit the terms of office for federal officials and members of Congress, that the legislature state of Arizona may provide further instruction to its delegates and may recall its delegates at any time for breach of duty or violation of instructions provided. The Arizona delegates are instructed not to support term limits for members of Congress that would limit their number of years in any given office to fewer than 12 years. That the Secretary of State of the State of Arizona transmit a copy of this resolution to the President, the Secretary of the United States Senate, Speaker, the Clerk of the United States House of Representatives, and each member of Congress from the State of Arizona, and the presiding officers of each House of the several state legislators requesting their cooperation.